This is the plaintiff, Daniel. He says he did mechanical work on 2 vehicles the defendant owns. The guy authorized the work, paid for the work on his credit card, then turned around and abruptly disputed the charges and was given a credit by his bank. The man's been a customer for years. He has no idea what's gotten into him. But he's owed $2,421.47, and he's suing for just that today. This is the defendant, Gerald. He says the plaintiff did work on his truck without calling him for authorization. Charged his credit card, and that ain't cool. He just wanted him to look at the truck and to give him an estimate for repairs, but the plaintiff jumped the gun on him. Bottom line, the plaintiff had no right doing what he did, and he's not paying. He's accused of trying to get work done for free.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff did work on the defendant's vehicle, and the defendant had his credit card company stop payment. But the defendant says the plaintiff did unauthorized work. It's the case of the MasterCard of my own destiny.
Okay, Daniel, you're here on behalf of a car service center, correct?
Yes,
that
Your
your
Honor.
father owns.
Yes.
Okay. And you have been, Gerald, a customer at that place. How many times have you had cars fixed there?
Maybe 5 or 6 times.
5 or 6 times. Now, tell me about the bill in question, which he paid and then called his credit card company and said, I never authorized it.
Yep. So on November 19th, 2018, he brought in his work van, asked us to check out the tires and the brakes on it, as well as do an oil change. So we took a look at the vehicle. We determined that it did need brakes front and rear. It also needed some tires. So I have here on the main estimate, on 11/19, he authorized us to perform the brake work on the vehicle, front and rear. So we took care of the brakes and the oil change.
What about the tires?
Well, at 3:03 p.m. here, we called him back, said the brakes are done, the tires are done, not tires, the oil change is done. Everything came out good, but you really need some tires. At that point, he said, you know what, I have it there. It really needs the tires. Let's just take care of this work.
So according to you, he authorized twice in 2 different phone calls.
Because at first he said just take care of the brakes and the oil change and hold off on the tires. So once we finished all that work, we called him back and said, everything's done, it's great. Are you sure you don't want to do the tires? And at that point, he said, you know what, go ahead and do it. It's already there. And I
Okay,
really
now
need
you've
them.
done how many jobs for him?
Many. I actually printed out his full vehicle history report. He's been a customer for almost 3 years. I think it comes out to about 16 or 17 total visits I have here.
And so this truck was what kind of truck?
It's a potato chip delivery truck.
Is that your business?
Yes.
Okay, so, and according to you, he wakes up early, delivers all the potato chips, filling everyone's potato chip morning need, and,
I would assume
and
so,
then
correct,
sleeps through it. So he drops the car off at odd hours when you guys aren't open, or how does?
Well, usually midday.
Okay, so he drops the car off at midday, and then
or
what?
something like that, and then I'm assuming he goes home and gets some rest.
And
'cause he
then you
works early
fix it, and
hours.
then he picks it up at odd hours, or?
After we close at 5 p.m.
Okay.
So usually what we have done many times, pretty much every single time before, is run the credit card on file, leave his keys and receipt inside the truck for him so that he can come back at his convenience and pick up the truck for work tomorrow.
Okay. All right, so according to you, you spoke to him not once but twice, and you were reading from something. What were you reading from?
This was the original invoice where I was giving you the times off of here.
Let me see that.
Sure. You can see right down the bottom.
Is there somewhere where
is
you
the sender.
handwrite stuff, or no, you're inputting it?
Basically all on the computer. You can see where it came in, it says check tires, check brakes, and then down bottom where it's highlighted in yellow, that's when the times of days we actually got the approval to do the different work. When we originally got the charge back from American Express, it said work, services or goods not received. So I printed out the original invoices. Then we got another charge back from American Express on the same thing that said duplicate billing, because he was in with, I believe, his wife or girlfriend's vehicle about 9 or 10 days earlier for almost the same amount dollar-wise of work.
So what's your defense to this? They're suing you because you called the credit card company and claimed you didn't authorize the work.
Yeah.
And?
Well, he's right. I did drop my girlfriend's car off. It was about 2 or 3 days earlier. I even said to him, I don't know if I actually spoke with him. I'm not really sure who I spoke with. But I called and I said, I'm going to pick her car up. I'll drop my other truck off, and you guys could just look at that at the time. And I said, give me a call when you got an estimate on this one. I'm not sure who called me. I'm not sure if it was him. I really don't know who I was speaking with on the phone. And they gave me a number, and I said, I'm not going to get it done right now. It's too much. I just put out $2,400. I'm going to wait on that because I have other trucks. So I said I'm going to pick the truck up. I didn't know exactly what was how bad it would be, but I'll get it fixed. I have another guy that does work on the side for me once in a while, and I figured I'll just let him look at it eventually. They called me back, told me the work was done. I told them.
So you're saying you did get a call from them?
Oh, they called me and gave me the number.
And they gave you the estimate?
Yes.
And you said?
I told them to hold off on it.
Okay. Who did you talk to and say, don't do the work?
If it was him, I'm not sure. Just
Are you the one who called him, or did somebody else call him?
I believe that was my father.
Who called him?
Yeah.
And according to you, you said don't do the work to his father, and then his father authorized the work. Can you get your father on? Is your father here?
No, he's not here.
Is he available by telephone?
We can try him.
Why don't we try him?
Sure.
Try to get him on the phone, and then once you got him, put him on speaker.
So who wins this? The auto repair shop or the customer?
The repair shop.
Why?
The guy brought his car there, he left it there, and the work got done.
Work got done, but the guy says it's unauthorized.
He should have never gave up his credit card information in the first place when he dropped his car off.
But I don't understand. He gave up his credit card information, but he says the work was unauthorized.
If the work's unauthorized, then it needs to be on paper at least. And if he doesn't have that, they should have that.
So who wins?
Honestly, I think the defendant.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
So, I said, look, I didn't authorize this. And they were like, well, we have pictures of, I guess they said they took pictures of what I needed done. You really needed this stuff done, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, right now wasn't the right time for it. I have other trucks. I could put this truck on hold. I would have got it done later
Normally,
on.
you wouldn't get your
She
car
wants to talk
after
too.
that. If you won't pay, then they don't give you your car. That's what usually happens.
But they already ran my credit card, so they don't care.
What's your dad's name? Dad? Okay.
Yes, how are you?
How are you? This is Judge Milian.
All right.
Okay, so can I just ask you, Dan, did you have any conversations yourself with the defendant in this case about the authorization for the repair?
I talked to him at the end whenever we finished the repairs about if he really wanted to do the tires or not because they were pretty bad.
And what did he say?
He said put 4 tires on, 2 on the front and 2 on the back, and he'd let the other ones go because they were in really bad shape.
How many tires are on the truck?
6.
There's 6.
Okay, and so you had that conversation. Did you have the original conversation on the brake job and the oil change?
Yeah, in the morning.
So you talked to him twice that day?
Yes.
All right, and in the original conversation, what was the conversation? Did he tell you, no, don't do the repair?
No, he told me to go ahead with everything, just don't do the tires. Because he originally came in for the brakes and tires, and then when he found out how much the brakes were, because they were really shot, he says, just do the brakes for now. So then I called him back to tell him that the brakes were all done. Then I said to him, you sure you don't want to put, a few tires on this thing because they're pretty bad? And he goes, well, just put 4 on, don't put all 6 on. And I said, okay, and we took care of that.
What say you to what Senior's saying right now?
I spoke to somebody once. I don't know if he called me, and I spoke to somebody one time. And that was to say, and that was after they were like, you're ready, your car's ready to be picked up.
Did he ever call, who calls him to let him know his car's ready?
Me.
All right, so that's after putting the tires on?
Right.
Okay, so when you call...
He said, just leave it outside, and he'd call me back with the credit card later.
I thought you had the credit card on file.
No, we didn't know. We had a credit card on file from the girlfriend, and then whenever he called back with the credit card number, it was the same number we had for the girlfriend.
Okay, because your son was saying you already had it on file, but you're saying he gave it to you?
Right. I just wanted to make sure that was the credit card he was going to use because the credit card we had was from the girlfriend. And
Okay.
that was the same credit card number that he had given us.
All right, thank you, Senior.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye-bye. I don't know how to use a Samsung. All right, so your plan is
Thank you.
to do what? I realize that you had one credit card statement with thousands and thousands of dollars in charges, but what's your plan? Your plan is that you're going to get away with a free brake, free oil, 4 new tires, and that they're going to eat all that?
Well, when I called the credit card company, they asked me if I wanted to dispute the charge, and I said, yeah. They didn't offer me like, hey, do you want to play part of it? That wasn't part of the deal. It was, no, I didn't. They said, did you authorize this? I said no. and they did their investigation or whatever they, however
They don't do it. They basically,
No, whatever they do.
I'll tell you what they
I've
do, and
never
I'm
really-
not bound by them anyway. What
Okay.
they do is they rule on the side of their customer when they can, because you're their customer.
Absolutely.
Depending on the card, not every card does that. All right, Gerald, I'm a little uncomfortable. I'm having a hard time thinking that they did this work without your authorization. I'm going to order you to pay them the money you owe them, which is $2,421.47.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff prevails. The defendant is going to have to pay the repair bill. I'm intrigued to know what you were thinking when the judge was talking to his father and heard what he said.
I was fine with it. I mean, I spoke,
You were fine with it?
But them
he
call-
said he talked to you. You okayed everything. You gave him the credit
He
card
talked
number.
to me, but I-
his testimony
yeah.
killed your case.
Well,
Killed your case.
but that's okay.
Okay?
All right.
You embarrassed?
No, not at all.
You don't feel bad?
No, not at all.
Good luck.
All right.
Amazing. He's happy as a clam.
I am.
I don't understand it. You're the one who should be happy.
I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Yep. I think she ruled very fair, and I brought all the evidence with me, and I think justice prevailed.
Well, you did a good job.
Thank you
okay?
very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was amazing. Harvey, what do you think?
Okay, I don't care how many times you go. I mean, this is such a good example. They went 16 times before. If you take your car in, you need to get something in writing. You can text, you can email. There are a million ways of doing it. Get it in writing.